세러데이 쇼다운, 립샌드박스 대 농심 레드포스.
And the Jinx is no surprise. What comes in for Showmaker, though, is where things get a little bit interesting.
Interesting. Def trying to sell some skins as well, just for a little bit. Of course, much like his ex-teammates in our previous series. Of course, the DRX Caitlyn is his one, as Draven going to be coming forward. So we're going to have axes thrown from downtown, I guess.
You look at this draft and you think, okay, well, it's very early game focused. There's a lot of power, there's a lot of engage, but Draven can be a menace later on.
Oh, do it, Bertle. Don't be scared. Just gobble up the Scion.
Oh, man, if they lock this in, I mean, it is powerful in the lane, it is powerful for team fights, but this composition couldn't be more disjointed of what it's trying to do. I mean, look, you have a lot of CC here. Vi goes in, Cho'Gath follows up, you have Syndra follow-up, and then you blow somebody up. The Scion, in particular, the base damage of Draven is so incredibly high, he is going to do a lot. And if he gets empowered by Milio later on with the W, he will do a lot from further away.
Yeah, that's the thing. The fact that you get your Q to have extra range, in theory, right? Because, like, spinning axes, just it's basically an ability just used all the time and forever and is a basic attack.
Yeah, it's
kind of unfair,
wild.
right?
It's a little wild. Does not have vision of this, as Canyon's taken the long way around and avoided that ward, so this could be a big problem. It is.
Bertle now going to get stabbed a few times here by Canyon. We'll see whether he does have to flash, as Canyon in a good position to try and avoid this. Does get ruptured, though, and Bertle is just going to stay cool. And look, that was a cool kid, not panicking Wolf. I think that the tagline is correct.
It's a good Cho'Gath skin, though. It's the one I use. I don't like the bony one that a lot of our pro gamers like.
You're not a Jurassic Cho'Gath guy? I'm kind of into it. I do like the boombox Cho'Gath as well. Especially if you're laning against Nasus, as you can have double boombox in the lane. Okay, Deft. Not as cozy in this campfire anymore as Teddy with the Ghost active, but we'll just walk forward and take too many axes to the head.
Yeah.
That is not what you really want to do. We'll get... Sidesteps the kick.
Herald's still up, but unfortunately Live Sandbox trying to group to contest. Oh, Teddy.
Whoa, that's a big old flash forward from Deft. He has the cozy campfire, as Canyon's not going to be able to get in there because, of course, there is Willa in the flank. So, yeah, Teddy used his Ghost, but then Deft is like, I've got one better. I'm going to use Ghost and Flash and run towards you. As Canyon will move on over. Spots that this is about 50% on health. A train able to leave the station here as Canyon going to get tagged for a moment. Bertle coming on over. Canna, I don't think you really want to be here, as it is going to be secured. Teddy going to be there to help lock that one down. The flash forward from Showmaker, and Whirling Death is going to fly in and get the cash out. Teddy in trouble, gets his heart broken, and it's a flash forward that doesn't actually exist. Wasn't a flash forward, but it's Def picking up yet another kill on the Draven.
But eventually it was too late. Kana sets it up.
Okay, so Canna is going to turn up here towards his bottom side. Teddy trying to do some work here, but he's a big old tanky Scion. Gets the fully stacked Q, and Teddy is well and truly dead. Kyle is just a cat with a dream, but has Willa. And so the Vi is going to give the cat a way out. He hasn't completed anything yet. Oh my goodness, this is a Draven that's Dravening.
And look at all the wards.
Yeah.
Like, look at how many different ways and avenues he has to be able to make an impact early with the earlier Unleashed teleport. And there's just nothing Teddy could do. He's ulted, tries to kite back here. I believe has no flash, so can't flash the follow-up Q. He is dead. At least Yumi's able to attach here to Willer and get out, so Kyle survives, but...
On that one to get the double tap, and it didn't quite get there. So it will be Willa surviving. Closer, are you going to be all right? Oh my goodness, it's just the Goon Squad now for D plus Kia. They are just everywhere on this map, picking them off one after the other.
And Yumi can't roam. She can't help out. There's nothing that Yumi could do. Milio, on the other hand, can help speed you up with a shield, and Willer's got to get out of here. There's a speed up, speaking of.
Yeah, how do you face check an Annie as well with Flash and Tibbers both available? Canna doesn't have a lot of health left. There's great little knock up there as Bertle gets thrown away by the ball that Kellen just kicks towards him. And that is going to be enough to deny him. They just don't have an access point to this river. The Drake is going to go down. Rupture is going to connect onto Showmaker there. Might give a little bit of space to Live Sandbox to try and get some damage onto this turret. They just get a little turret down to try and do some damage there, and that is all they're going to be afforded. Even the Prowling Projectile not going to work. And Teddy gets out of the way of the Q with a Prowling. Keeping their eye on where this Vi is very important. Scatter is going to connect as Kellen tanks a heck of a lot of damage onto that one. Canyon still lying in wait, though. And it looks like D+ Gear will be all right. Still, some opportunities. Decent little stun, but the immediate turnaround on Canyon. He breaks his stopwatch as Bertle now just trying to get into position. Willer is just not strong enough, and Canyon will be the last man standing as far as these junglers. Deft has to utilize his Ghost in order to get out of the way there as the Whirling Death flies through. Teddy takes a lot of damage from that one as well. The stacks built up from Deft helping out on that one.
Willer, no flash.
Ward does go in. They have full information of what's going on. Teddy moving on over. Does have to clear that one out. It's okay, there's the big engage. Whirling Death does so much work. Bertle has to get out of there, but Deft still will get the cash in. Oh my goodness. The power has been unleashed, but it doesn't exist, Wolf. Nope. And it's a knockback onto Teddy. He's dealing with this big old bear, and D+ Gear say, no, you can survive. We're going to take a Baron. But I think that 50 gold almost belongs to the coffers of D+. The train is going to head towards Closer, and being hit by a train that's dressed as a lumberjack feels real bad.
It does not feel good. And Closer is now out of the game here as Willer's going to flash for this engage. Deft doesn't care.
Yeah, no one, in fact, Kellen doesn't care either. As Cease and Desist comes down and the Vine just explodes. The turret is going to follow suit here as Teddy and Bertle not really sure what they're supposed to do underneath this turret. It is still pretty healthy, but I think that is not going to be the case for very much longer as Teddy with his big old shield, Showmaker bearing down on them, and D+. They are corralling Liv Sandbox here. Canyon dives forward. Bertle is going to explode. And Canna, he's going to secure that kill for the team.
Look at the damage!
Oh my, what?
He ults him!
Whirling Death, oh good! He gets him on the mountain! 404 cares not found, Wolf, as Inhibitors also going to vacate the rift. D+ just Nexus turrets in front of them, and the Nexus here for game number 1. So similar to the first series for both of these teams in the spring season. Not even close. However, it's a best of 3, and if these cool kids do indeed never panic, then they can come back and they can turn it around. Because we might go late, because that's like game 2, right? Because that's like the other half of the series is, oh my goodness, I don't even really want to look at it. That is just absurd damage out from Deft in this particular game in comparison to everybody else, because this game just didn't really go, well, I mean, I guess, 29.5 minutes. It went longer than we expected.
Is that what I'm watching here? Is we are going to see the Varus come through here with the Nautilus. And this is where things can get a little bit weird. I mean, not the Caitlyn pick, but with how this bottom lane can go. Any scaling pick here for D+ is really good. You just need to survive the laning phase and survive the poke. And Aurelion Sol, it fits the bill. And I thought maybe we'd see something like a Victor here. In the old days, you'd be like, oh, maybe Azir could actually round this draft off very nicely, but that's been, God, it'll make its way back. None of that, but still, this comp is really reliant on that poke damage landing.
Well, Hail of Arrows is going to give away their position. A little bit of value there. Ardent Blaze splits the bottom lane of Liv Sandbox, but nicely avoided there by the two of them.
From the outside looking in, not so much.
Yeah, well, Kellen taking a lot of damage here as Kyle also, very similar story.
Here comes
a little bit of a dive. Yeah, being set up here as Willa. Not really thinking like it's going to be the best option for him.
There goes the dive.
Yeah, okay, we're back. We're going for it yet again. This wave still pretty stacked.
Chugging some pots.
As we still have heal, we still have cleanse. Now we don't have any of those options, as that is going to be first blood going over to Teddy. Kellen, okay, Will is going to flash, and Teddy is going to take a turret shot that's well and truly charged, but it's a double kill for the Varus. Fantastic news for Liv Sandbox. So theoretically, the aggression can continue. Buckler being thrown at Bertle, quite frustrating. As there is a Maokai on the top.
Here we go again.
Yeah, Deft in a whole host of trouble. Will is going to come down. Deft trying to trade it. He does manage to go 1-for-1. Kellen dies. Does have to flash, but if he died, then it would have still been good news for Liv Sandbox. But as Willa walks towards a whole lot of plants here in this bottom side. Hook going to just barely miss. Deft gets out of the way. Kyle takes a lot of damage. Nicely played there by the Lucian.
Now they have no flashes, so it's just plate gold at worst case scenario for Teddy, and potentially even more. They're going to force them away from farm here as the wave crashes. Canyon has to come down now.
Ooh, Hook going wide there. Kyle hoping for a different juke as in goes Canyon. Oh my goodness, that is a journey you can go on as the sky descends on top of the cool kids as Closer having to run away now, and Showmaker just says, nope, that's no more winning for you.
Yeah, as he has level 6, it's a really nice ult coming through. He's even chasing Closer away. I think Closer should be able to survive. He does have phase rush. He is a Jace after all. How does Deft get out of this one? It's going to be very difficult. But at least top side of the map, maybe they could get a pick here onto Birdall. Not as relevant, though, as the scaling Varus here. But let's see. Canyon's got 6. He's got an ult.
Yeah. And just going to walk towards Birdall here to deny that back. And Leap Strike. Not really going to work out there as the ulti comes in. Heroic Charge, not even necessary, really, because Canada doesn't get the stun, but they still manage to get the kill. And this is what you sacrifice by focusing everything bottom lane.
Yeah. Still, I think bigger advantages here for Live Sandbox in terms of what they get trade-wise, as Deft is just not able to really farm. Comes over here. Uh-oh, a trap.
What? Okay, avoids everything. It's fine.
Potentially going to give up this Herald, though. As Birdall scouts this out, they need to rotate over. Showmaker slowing over the rotation. He has his empowered ultimate as well. This is not a fight you want to take. Teddy, no mana.
Well, Tidal Wave is going to come through. Yet another heroic charge as Canna is just having the time of his life. Steadfast presence to get them out of there as, oh my goodness, the stars well and truly descending, and now Deft is the one doing all of the damage. The drive-by not going to quite have the range on the laser beam from his mouth. And
Dreaming and experimenting on Deft.
Oh, okay. Not going to get hit by the Glacial Prison.
Very predictive.
Or anything else.
Let's say it was a very predictive attempt from Wheeler.
On that front.
Yeah.
Canna, who has a Bramble Vest as well as Canyon. Okay, he's going to Bramble smash Closer back. Closer taking so much damage, gets knocked into the sky with that big old wave. The sky's descending. Oh no! He's picked apart. Birdall teleported to his death, and now D plus Kia at 21 minutes.
It looks like he got killed by the Super Mario 64 Bowser shockwave.
I was trying to think about what it reminded me of. It was exactly that. Canna somehow survives. I don't know how that even happened. The Baron is going to be taken. Teddy exploit. Oh, he blows Deft up. It's beautifully played. He will die in the end, and it means not a whole lot, but it was a cool play from a returning player.
Oh, no, I mean,
been on the professional stage for about a year.
100% Teddy outplayed Deft this game, but Wheeler.
Yeah, well, where are they going? The blast cone's even confusing our observers as, okay, yeah, that's just a lot of damage. And this is what, you know, Aurelion Sol's pretty strong at this point in the game, 5-0 and 3. We haven't really seen them be quite this accelerated. As Closer is teleported, D plus Kia have found this big lead as another Glacial Prison is going to fly the wrong direction. Canyon takes that as an opportunity to go for the engage. Decent knock up there from Kyle, but he just explodes. He just does not tank damage very well at all as Canyon. He's the opposite. The skies descend once again onto Live Sandbox, and damage as well, and when you're doing the healing and having a good time. As Deft is dashing forward, Closer getting cold momentarily as he will get knocked up as well. Finally we do see, oh my god, the damage! Okay, Aurelion Sol, you need to chill out for a moment, because I was trying to play-by-play something else, and then Showmaker just comes in and kills everyone. Kyle, he's going to die. It's a bit of an afterthought, as that was like one tick of breathing, and he died.
It's still
yeah, and then there was this dragon. Yeah, that is kind of the story. So it goes a different way. The results are similar.
They don't have a jungler now.
No, they don't. Canyon, he's going to be there. He's just going to put down the Nature's Grasp. They are going to collect a few things as the tree goes fishing. Kyle going to get snared for a moment. Birdall is slowed on the approach, though, as another ult comes down. The dragon is just tidying them up. Breathes once again as Deft does go down after getting a double kill. Showmaker's going to go golden, wants to utilize that stopwatch while he has a moment, as Willer's pretty tanky, but he is also going to die. Gets executed by the breath of Showmaker, and they want to end this game. It's Showmaker going home early the way he likes it.
Yeah, I mean, it still ended up almost being a 30-minute game, but it's about as fast as it gets to be a dragon with 11 kills.
Oh, it's a very happy dragon.
That's not the change to the sweeper that Riot told me about.
And is it going to be double POGs?
I think so.
Showmaker,
I think so.
It's such a great story for a player that has been struggling more recently than not, someone who has been an absolute veteran of the LCK for the last few years. Showmaker having a great performance here today. And this is also something that Deft actually spoke about, right? It was that our team now feels like a family. He actually mentioned this in the interview before we got into the series. So over.
서머 첫 경기를 승리로 장식하며
Thank you very much, guys. This is Yusun for the second POG interview of the day. We're here joined by the classic mid-jungle duo on the side of D+ Kia, Showmaker and Canyon. Congratulations, guys.
샌드박스를 상대로 시원하게 첫 승을 거두셨습니다.
Guys are kicking off the summer season with a 2-0 win up against Lip Sandbox. How do you feel?
샌드박스가 되게 잘하는 팀이라고 생각해서
I thought Lip Sandbox is one of the strong teams, so I thought it was going to be a rough series today, but it went easier than I expected, so it feels nice. Same, I was a little bit nervous playing the first match of the summer season, but I'm happy with a clean 2-0 win. And Canyon, I think you were able to showcase a very sharp performance today. Do you think the hard work during the off-season paid off? We also kind of grouped up to prepare for the summer season pretty early, so I guess it kind of paid off, yeah.
긴 연습 과정이 있었고요. 역시 연습은 배신하지 않는구나라는 다시 한번
And that led to a perfect performance up against Lip Sandbox today. And Showmaker, let's go back to the first game. It was a very clean win up against Lip Sandbox, and it all started with an outplay from Annie around Harold. So let's take a look at this replay together.
네, 이 장면이었는데 스킬이 굉장히 절묘하게 들어갔거든요. 어떻게
So you
보셨던가요?
barely sidestepped the E from Syndra, and then you were able to find massive ult. It was a bit of a different angle because there were so many wards, and I actually was watching out for the E from Syndra, but I just believed in the speed boost coming from my E, so I was like, I don't know, I'll just go, and then I got lucky enough to dodge it, and I was able to find that ult. Showmaker, a lot of people are now highlighting on the reduced cost of the lost chapter, and I think this kind of brought the meta of AP champions up the mid lane, which you were looking for. What do you think about that? A very good patch indeed. I have been waiting for this moment forever. Thank you, Riot. However, Kenya, we are seeing a very similar champion pool, same as the spring season. How do you feel? Yeah, Maokai Vi forever. So we have a very narrow champion pool right now in the jungle. But still, if we remove Maokai and Vi, we will be able to see more of the jungle picks. There are some viable picks I'm thinking of. And then in game 2, Showmaker, we finally got to see the famous Showmaker Asol. It was a pick into Jace on the mid lane. Tell us about it. Well, I have been spamming Aurelion Soul starting from the spring season, but I've never gotten a chance to play it. So I was just looking for this moment, and finally, today we got the perfect comp for me to play Asol. And then we had the spinning dragon in the end as D+ Kia was marching towards the enemy nexus. So after the remake, if you like kind of spam W, you can do a different ceremony, and then they fixed it. So I was looking for a different ceremony to showcase how happy I am to annoy the opponents, and I found the perfect one, the spinning dragon. And then in the voice comm, you actually accidentally sold Rylai's, and you said it's like cost 800 gold or something. What was that? So if you take boots as your rune actually and then sell that, it's actually making a bad choice in terms of the gold. And then I was like selling my biscuits, and somehow I sold my Rylai's, so I had to pay extra 800 gold to repurchase it. So, but still, I was having a lot of gold in my pocket, so that's a relief. So I was pretending that I'm pretty cool and chill, but in my mind, I was pretty annoyed by my own mistake.
저희만 하는 줄 알았는데 쇼메이커 선수도 하신다고 하니까 뭔가 인간미까지 넘쳐 보이는 느낌인데요. 캐년 선수
And Canyon,
상대가 바텀
in game 2, Lip Sandbox was paying a lot of attention to the bottom lane. They were diving bottom lane so many times, but there was that one play where you were able to find a perfect angle to punish the opponents, where you flashed W into Teddy. So I was looking at the minimap, and then I could see some over-aggression coming from the opponents. So I was trying to just cover our bottom duo, and then they kind of overextended. And I saw Nautilus also just running away with his Q. So I was like, maybe I can just go in and get a follow-up from Asol, and he kind of worked really well.
실제로 캐년 선수가 지금 솔랭에서
Canyon.
니코 정글을 조금 연습하고 계신
Rumors
걸로 알고
say
있습니다.
you are spamming
혹시
Nico
제가 이렇게
jungle
한번
in Korean
여쭤볼게요.
solo
캐년 선수와
queue.
쇼메이커 선수 두 분 중에 니코에
So
대한
if you see a
신뢰도는
Nico
누가
locked
높다고
in from
생각하시는지
D plus Kia,
두 분째
who do you think
모두
it's gonna play?
여쭤보겠습니다.
Because who has the higher proficiency on that
뭐
pick?
제가 말씀드리자면
네.
Well, if I have to say something,
저는 좀 건부가 좀 더 저보다는 잘.
I think Kenyon will be a better Nico player than me.
캐년 선수 인정하시나요?
Kenyon, do you agree?
또 니코를 더 빨리 시작.
I started playing Nico faster than Showmaker, that's true.
아이템이랑 좀
And then she has really good synergy with some of the jungle items. So I think Nico is a pretty good and fun champion to play in jungle.
저도 아니라고
Wait,
할 줄 알았는데.
Canyon, I thought you were gonna say no, and you're gonna say
그래서
I'm a better
확실히
Nico
더
player,
잘하시나
but it
봐요.
hurts to see you
그러면
actually
앞으로
admitting it.
디플러스 기아의 경기에서 정글
So are we
니코가
gonna
대비되지
see
않는다면
some
쓸
Nico
가능성도
jungle
저희가
from
좀
D plus
예상을
Kia in the
해보도록
future?
일단 만약에 풀린다면
Well,
이제
yeah,
먹고 나서
maybe we will just
이런 거
take
뭐 할지
it
좀
and
고민될
then
것
use it
같은데.
as a flex pick for mid and
그래서
jungle.
좀 재밌을 것
It's gonna be a
같은데
lot
그래서
fun
한번
if we get to
해보고
play
싶습니다.
Nico
상황이 된다면
in the LCK
써볼
for
수도
sure.
있겠다, 이런 또 기대되는 답변을 주셨습니다. 좋습니다. 이번 서머에 사전 예측에서요 정말 많은
A lot of
분들이 디플러스
Pro
기아가
teams
굉장히
actually
잘할 것이다라는
predicted D plus
예측을
Kia to
해주셨습니다.
also pop
많은
off
기대를
this
갖고
summer
있는
season.
만큼
You guys are
서머에
playing
대한
under a
각오가
lot
많으실
of
것 같은데요.
expectations.
쇼메이커 선수부터
What is your
간단히
mindset
들어보도록
heading
하겠습니다.
into this season?
항상 매 시즌마다
I
기대는
think
진짜 많이
we are
받았던 것
getting
같은데. 그래서
a very high
이번에
hopes and
썸머
expectation
때는
every
증명을
season.
해보이도록 하겠습니다.
So I hope this time around we can finally live up to those expectations and, you know, pull off the perfect
저도 뭐
outcome
비슷한
we can.
생각인데 그냥
similar, you know.
재밌게 해보겠습니다.
I hope we
이제
can have fun
기대
this summer.
부담감 없이
I hope we can, you know,
재밌게 하고
not
싶어요.
feel too much pressure and enjoy while we perform throughout the summer season.
오늘 승리 다시 한번 축하드리고요.
And this will be the end of the interview from Kenyon Showmaker from D plus Kia, and I'm gonna pass it back to the space. Thank you.